It is here. The Mi Note 10 is here, or the CC9 Pro if you're in China. With that said, this is everything we know about the Mi Note 10 right before the launch. The design of the Mi Note 10 is a new direction for Xiaomi. It's the first time they're using a curved OLED display in a smartphone. From leaks online in China, we heard this is a Samsung display panel. It will curve around at the sides, much like we see on the P30 Pro or on the Galaxy S10 series. The display is a 6.47 inch Full HD, that's 2340 by 1080 display. It will feature a water drop display which houses a 32 megapixel selfie camera, which is the same as we've seen on previous versions of the phone, the CC9 or the Mi A3 or possibly the Mi 9 Lite, depending on which country you're in. The screen will also feature a brand new and upgraded, much larger fingerprint sensor than we've seen on previous phones. The Mi Note 10 is also capable of something called breathing alerts, which is a feature found in MIUI 11 that can work with the OLED curved display and give you a cool look when you have messages or alarms, for example. The top and bottom bezels have been reduced in size to just give a much more modern look. The back of the phone also features a curved design, carrying on from the curve on the front of the screen, and from what we know right now, it will come in a green and a white color. The top and bottom of the phone also feature a new design from Xiaomi. Whereas previous phones have a curved design at the bottom, the Mi Note 10 will feature this flattened off design. USB-C headphone jack on the bottom, NFC IR blaster on the top, and unfortunately, from what we can see, it only has a mono speaker. Xiaomi have told us the speaker box is 1cc in size and features high-res audio out of the headphone jack, but from what we can see from Xiaomi so far, just that mono speaker at the bottom. The camera setup is another first for a Xiaomi smartphone, a penta camera system. You get a massive 108 megapixel main sensor that will take 27 megapixel images as standard. When taking pictures with the full readout, you get incredibly crisp and sharp images. More pixels doesn't necessarily mean better image, but it does definitely mean a sharper, crisper image. Whether that's important to you is up to you. That main camera unit does also support optical image stabilization. A 12 megapixel fixed focal length 2x zoom camera that Xiaomi will also use when you're taking portrait shots. That one does not have optical image stabilization, however. A 5 megapixel 5x zoom lens. Yes, apparently that one has a 5 megapixel camera, which does seem a little bit low, but let's have a look at the real world images before we make judgment. It does come with optical image stabilization and gives a 5x lossless zoom, a 10x hybrid zoom, and up to 50x zoom on the camera. For photo, although I do not expect 50x zoom in video too, let's just wait and see on that one. You also get an ultra wide lens at 20 megapixels, which also should be capable of video recording. Finishing off that penta camera system is a macro lens, a very specific lens that most of us probably won't use that much, but hey, it's there. The camera system also features a dual LED flash, both flashes having 2 LEDs, so a total of 4 LED lights for the flash system. Xiaomi have shown us a ton of sample images from the camera system, from the ultra wide all the way into 50x zoom. We've also seen portrait shots from that 2x lens, and of course they all look fantastic, but again, let's wait until the real device is in the real world and we can see what it really can do. You also have cinematic mode, whereby the camera shoots video in this ultra wide aspect ratio, giving a more cinematic or more professional look for videos. Xiaomi say that their night mode is using 14-bit color science, which means you get richer colors out of the night mode. And they even went as far as to compare it to the iPhone 11 Pro Max, and side by side, it looks like it handles itself really well, but again, let's test it in the real world to find out. The Mi Note 10 is confirmed to carry the Snapdragon 730G processor, the best mid-range chip you can get right now from Snapdragon. It's capable of handling the full megapixel readout from that 108 megapixel camera in the Mi Note 10. It can also record up to 4K video at 30 frames a second, No 60 frames a second in this one, but slow motion up to 960 frames per second is supported, so expect that feature. The battery is much bigger than what we see in most other phones, coming in at 5,260 milliamp hours. And it also carries 30-watt fast charging too. So what are some things that the Mi Note 10 is leaving out? What haven't we heard from Xiaomi? We've heard absolutely nothing about the refresh rate on the display. So we have to assume that Xiaomi are sticking with a 60 Hz refresh rate display. We also haven't heard if it uses UFS 2.1 or UFS 3.0. And Xiaomi have said absolutely nothing about wireless charging in this phone. So again, we have to assume that it doesn't have it. So the biggest issue here is the price, because there are a lot of competitors right now, including the Realme X2 Pro. That phone in China right now is only 2,500 RMB. So if the Mi Note 10 or the CC9 Pro, as it will be called in China, comes anywhere near that price, it doesn't look a great deal. If it comes under that, around 2,000 RMB, then it starts to look a good deal again. As always, the most important aspect of any phone is the price. Subscribe for all the latest tech news and for the Mi Note 10 unboxing. That's it for now, but I'll see you in the next one.